All right, we are rocking and rolling. Nicole, what's your last name?
Langone.
Langone. I just knew I couldn't say it correctly, so I wanted to ask you. I tried to take pride in saying people's names correctly, but I'm like 8 for 10.
And mine just didn't cut it.
Yeah, I just didn't know because so you're from New York, right?
Yes.
And are you Italian in descent?
Yes.
So I don't always know if I want to pronounce that right. Like sometimes with the Italian names.
Yeah, technically it's Langone.
See, exactly. See, but I knew it was Italian.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so for the listeners, we are in your shop, Relentless Customs. So they're gonna hear some things going on in the background. That's because this is a working print shop.
Yeah, it's a working environment.
Yeah. So how long have you guys been in business?
Since 2013.
And that started in New York?
Yes.
So talk to me about that time. What got you into, and for the listeners, first tell them what Relentless Customs is, if you don't mind, and then also just take me back to the beginning. Why this industry? Why did you go into this? What was it all about? What was the start?
So the start of it was my partner and I, we wanted to have some clothing made for ourselves. We wanted to do a clothing line.
Okay.
That was our dream. A fitness clothing line.
Yeah.
And a lifestyle brand. Two sides of it. I was the fitness side. He was the lifestyle brand.
Okay.
So we went to a screen printer to have our stuff made. And we went and we had it all done because we were planning on doing this big tattoo convention. So we had everything done. We were happy with everything. But we said, wow, well, this was cool. But I mean, we paid a decent price for it. Mm-hmm. The stuff, it was good quality, but it wasn't the best. So we said, you know what? Maybe we can do this ourselves.
Right.
So we started off with a heat press and a vinyl plotter. And I was doing this until 3 o'clock in the morning. Before we had a trade show, convention, we did craft shows, we did everything like that.
Yeah.
So I'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning in a spare bedroom in our house, just screen heat pressing and getting shirts ready.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. For a little while, we had some stuff made for ourselves still, and then we were making a little bit on the side. And then we took over another bedroom. Then we took over a basement.
Yeah.
Then we decided to go to our own warehouse.
So you started at home?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we started at home. We were literally spraying out screens in the bathtub. So there was emulsion all over our bathtub, and emulsion is what is used to make the screen.
Okay.
It makes the stencil of it.
So is that the first step when you're making? I'm gonna dig in the weeds on how to make shirts.
Go ahead.
Because it's super fascinating to me because if anyone who talks to me I'm just a stickler on the details and the process. So what is the process? I'm sorry to cut you off because what is that first? You said, give me that name again. What's it called?
A screen, emulsion.
Emulsion. Is that what you called it? You said
Yes.
It was everywhere.
Yes, emulsion. That is what you apply a thin coat to a screen, and it is what's used to make the stencil.
Okay.
So you coat your screens with emulsion, and then you make a transparency, and a transparency is the client's image. It's what they want on the shirt.
Yeah.
So you take that and you expose it. It's almost like making a photograph.
Oh, okay.
So you have to expose it in a dark room.
Yeah.
So you do that and you expose it in your exposure unit. Then you take it out and you spray it out with water, let it sit for a minute, and then you use a pressure washer, and it makes a stencil. So now you have a stencil that you can set up and you can use to print people's shirts.
Oh, okay. All right, listen, I'm hot too.
It's hot as hell.
Let's turn on the fan. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you pausing it?
No, I'm gonna keep talking. Don't worry. I'm a pro at this. We're just gonna make it work. So we're in the shop. It's warming up here in St. Louis. We're just gonna have just a little bit of fan noise, unfortunately. It's not gonna be terrible. It'll work out. This is what it takes whenever you're trying to just fucking travel around and sit down with cool people. What? I'm just talking. No, it's totally fine. We can work through this. Oh, but I'm sitting here getting hot, and so I'm I know you're getting hot too.
It's that dryer. Just wait till it's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah, holy shit, man. How are you guys gonna work in here then?
We have a AC in the back. We turn that on, and it just combats it a little bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't totally make it cool in here or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But in the next spot, hopefully we'll have some central air.
Yeah. Yeah. How long have you been here?
2 years.
2 years. 2 years here. So you were in New York because, all right, I got us off track for a second, right? So, like, we were going off over the process some, but I want to go back to your story. Just that was like a tangent in my mind. I'm sorry. We'll get back there because I want to talk about the difference between plasticell and water base,
Right.
and just kind of get in the weeds a little bit because I like that stuff. So you're in New York. You wanted to start a fitness line,
Yes.
a fitness lifestyle line, right?
Mhm.
And so fitness is your background,
I mean,
or that was your passion at the time.
Yeah, I got into working out a lot. Back then, I had the time to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you can make the time to. Everyone says.
Well, you got a squat rack over there.
I do, and I have a treadmill also. Some free weights too.
Yeah, that's legit.
Yeah. No, I know. So I have no excuse.
But you wanted to start that line, right? And then you just realized that you can cut out the middleman and probably do it better.
Yes. Yep.
And
Exactly.
and you guys were just working out of your house, doing
Mhm.
vinyl, staying up. So when you go to these trade shows, you're just doing these trade shows so that way you can get your brand out there.
Well, when we were doing trade shows back then, it was to actually sell items.
Yeah.
So we would go with full inventory, sizes extra small through 2X of all different styles, styles and designs, everything.
Is that a good move for a brand to try to be as part as many trade shows and different things and set up a booth? You think?
I think it's good if you're compensating yourself for that time. If it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you're going to these trade shows and the price is reasonable to be there, because we've done $1,500 trade shows, this and that, and sometimes it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But there were times it was well worth it.
Yeah.
So I think that if you're going and it's worthwhile and you're making your money back and you're spreading brand awareness and people are knowing about you, then I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Because what also happened was when we were doing this, we were doing fitness gear and lifestyle clothes and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
When we transitioned to actually screen printing everything ourselves, I sent those clients my mass email. I said, hey, this is what we're offering now, and you'd be surprised at how many people wanted shirts for bachelorette party, their business, their the team that they coached, things like that. So those relationships actually still grew from it, and I still have those clients today.
Yeah, and that was in New York.
That was in New York, yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about that a little bit before we started recording, right?
Mhm.
You started in New York, you moved all the way to Missouri, here in St. Louis, and you're still maintaining that business in New York, which is probably extremely rare, I would imagine, in the print industry, because is there loyalty? There's so many people printing.
Yeah, I think there is a loyalty to it because...
Well, you obviously have loyalty, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I have different relationships with my clients too.
Yeah.
I like to support them. I like to go to their events. I like to see their stuff in motion. I like to hand deliver stuff.
Yeah.
I really like to be a part of their life and find out how's it going, how are the shirts, how is the event.
Yeah.
So I think it's different than going to your traditional, 50-year-old man's shop. It was handed down to him from his dad, and he's doing it because it was handed down to him.
You're just another order to fill.
Yeah. So and I mean, it's not just screen printing. It's like that with other businesses too. But I really like to be a part of my clients' lives.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely take a very hands-on approach. Whenever I came here to get shirts, we sat for probably an hour, and you just went over all the details with me, and you made sure that I understood what was happening. And I had similar experiences with Justin and Stu Beath, who came over here. So it's just that seems to be the norm for you.
Yeah, I like to make sure that people are getting exactly what they want. I don't want someone to come here and think that I'm upselling them
Yeah.
or think that they're just another client here. Like, I'm
Yeah.
interested in what you do. I want to know what you do. I want to know why you do it. I want to know why it is that you think you want 500 t-shirts when really you probably don't need that.
Yeah, so just like you just have like this unrealistic like expectation. You just like come in and just order like a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I don't like when people do that because
I've done that. I ordered like 100 shirts. I had no one to sell them to.
well, I mean, I like that people come in and they're like, "Yeah, this is going to be great. We're going to sell all these shirts. We're going to sell out. We're going to make so much money." I believe in you. I do. But keep it simple because a lot of people just care about simple. And if someone comes in and they want 1,000 shirts and they haven't started their business yet, but they want 1,000 shirts and they don't know who their clientele is going to be, but they know someone's going to buy it, I, I take them back to basics. I say, what is it that we're going to do with your business? Why are we doing that? Who do you think your clients are going to be? Who are your clients?
Yeah.
Who's your social media following? Then they're
Taking
like,
them to business school.
then they're like, I want 100 of each size. Well, I'm like, well, who are your clients? And then I don't want you wasting money because then you're going to be unhappy. Then you're going to think I made you unhappy.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, all right, well, let's do sizes medium through 2X because, you're a men's fitness line and really you're gearing towards men and they have muscles and
Yeah.
they need bigger size shirts. So let's do that. Let's not
Right.
do a cookie cutter for everyone. It's
Right.
not for everyone.
Right. Or like, maybe like most of your shirts would be like a medium or a large because like those tend to sell more.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like don't order a ton of like extra smalls.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, if you need it, and
If you need it, you need
then
it.
you need it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to leave here happy knowing that I care about your business just like you do.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what really stuck out to me was like, because I've like shopped around at quite a few places around here, and like I was using another guy like before I found out about you guys. Nobody wants to like print tags and like help people like grow their actual business. Like I talked to a couple different ones, and there's one like it's pretty big like out in St. Peter's, and like they just look at me like I was fucking crazy, and like I don't think anybody had actually ever had that request for them before. But I asked you, and you're just like, yeah, like, duh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Like, did you run into that issue in the beginning? Like, when you were trying to start your thing, like, you couldn't get everything that you wanted?
when I was going to the other screen printer, or
Yeah, when you're using another screen printer and you first, like, were trying to use your, like, you try to start your own brand, right? Before you went, like, full on into printing.
right.
Were you even thinking about that? Like, having, like, only your brand on the clothes?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
when I
okay.
had my clothing line,
Yeah.
they said Next Level and Bella, and
Yeah, and you, like, kept, like, the Next Level and Bella tags and stuff on there?
I did because we weren't at a big point yet. And you know what? Honestly, I really didn't think about it.
Yeah.
But once I started printing for other clients, I had a client that said, I want everything perfect. I want my tags. And nothing is ever perfect because no one is perfect. So,
Right.
I mean, we did the best we could and they were happy, but perfect is not a realistic expectation.
Yeah.
So, but they wanted their tags. And I was like, all right, well, I've never done a tag before. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. This was like one of my first screen printing orders ever. And so we Googled it and we called our manufacturer and we said, hey, we have a client that wants this done and I really don't know how to do it. And they helped and they gave us some insight, some tools to do it. We bought it. And on, I think it was like 700 items, I heat pressed a tag on each and every single one.
Oh, God.
I actually was so nervous that I flipped all the shirts inside out too, because I didn't want to screw anything up. I didn't know what was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
But we got it done. Like, I mean, and that's how I just feel like if you have clients that ask for something and ask for it, you have to adapt. You have to give them what they want. Otherwise, you're not going to grow from it.
Yeah. Do you give, like, any pushback?
For what
Well,
people want?
Yeah, we'll just be like, well, that's not, like, a realistic expectation.
Yeah. I do, because sometimes someone was like, comes in and they want this reflective ink, but they want 6 shirts, and I'm like, listen, that's below our minimum. I really can't do that. You're going to have to do, our minimum's 24.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go with 24 pieces. Well, I can't really do that. I'm like, all right, well, then they finally say, okay, I could do that. And then I say, all right, well, the reflective, you know, it's a lot more money. I can special order the color you want. It's going to cost this. And they don't want to do it. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. I can't do it then, because you came in, you want something specific, and I cannot grow my business if every time I need to special order something. If I'm ordering $100 worth of material for a $150 job, just throwing numbers out there,
right,
it's not worth it.
Right, like those
so you have
don't.
to say no.
Right.
You have to push people away. Someone's here to pick up.
Oh, it's fine. You can go do business if you want to.
Okay.
It's totally cool. I'll just, you can walk in front of it too if you need to. It's totally cool. I'm in your guys' way. I understand. Yeah, no, this is an active business, ladies and gentlemen, and we're just gonna keep rocking and keep rolling. So let me give you guys some background on everything. I was using another printer, so you guys know, like, I have my business, Imposed Will, and we're by the time this will come out, the online store will be officially launched with the line, and you know, I've put out some products over the years, kind of just, you know, a hoodie here, a hoodie there, a tank top, a t-shirt, just kind of 1 and 2 type deals. And this brand Imposed Will has been with me for a really long time, and I'm finally at this point to where it's, you know, I said enough is enough, cut the shit, let's get it done. And you know, I was using the printer, and to be honest, like, I'm not going to say, you know, who it was or anything like that, but, you know, just the professionalism and the quality just wasn't there. I mean, you're you know, when you have somebody pushing back on, you know, you ask for a particular type of shirt or a particular type of hat, and then they're pushing back out of convenience for them, it's just like, you can't build a brand that way. So all that brought me to Nikki, because I'm telling the listeners what brought me to you. And I was using somebody prior, and I don't want to just, like, talk bad about anybody.
No,
but
never.
At the end of the day, the level of professionalism and the level of attention to detail wasn't there, which had me looking for somebody else. And even then, I was actually going to still use that person for, like, I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to use them for printing, but I can still probably, like, use them because, like, I've known them for a really long time. Like, I still want to kind of give them some business. Like, I still use them for embroidery. And then, like, they found out, like, I went for a different printer, and, like, threw, like, a hissy fit. I'm just like, well, guess what? You're fired now entirely. Like, I don't have time for your shit, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, it just happens. It happens. But, like, that's what you have to do. Like, I'm big on, like, auditing the people around me and, like, auditing the energy that I, like, allow to enter my space. And, like, if it just doesn't, if the vibes don't match, the vibes don't match.
You know, I understand them being upset, but if you're a client to them and you're worthwhile for them, and you see that they're going with someone else, they could have said, hey, I saw you had these shirts printed, you know, what are we not doing for you that we could do better?
Yeah.
Or what is it that you were looking for? And if you told them, I really want tags printed in my shirts.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what, this is something that I want to dabble in, I'll look into it for you. And I'll come back with you, and I'll let you know. And then they can come back to you, and they can say, hey, I did my research. I'm confident that I can do this for you. You know, can I earn your business back? Or something like that. Or say, you know, I'm not comfortable doing that. It's okay that you went with someone else, because I understand your company needs to grow, and you need to get what you want.
Yeah.
So that's something that I have done when I've seen stuff like that happen, because realistically, you know, you don't keep everyone forever.
Right.
So, I mean, some people you do, but I mean, if it's something like that you see it's worth it, and that you want to adapt for a client, I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. No, I will give to their credit, he did do some research and he was willing to try to make it happen. But one, it wasn't going to be the same. It was going to be like an iron-on, which isn't like the same. Like it wasn't going to be the same quality, and like it wasn't something that was ever done. But it was more than that. It was like I asked for a specific hat, and he's like, "Hey man, like I can't get that hat in time. Like you want to go with this hat?" It's like, "No, I don't want to go with this hat. I asked you for this." Or it's like I asked you for like to do like put just a little vinyl tag on a T-shirt. And it was, hey man, I completely forgot all about that. I have these gray vinyl ones left over. You cool with putting the gray one on? No, I asked for black. Like, give me what I asked for. Like, don't try to like substitute anything out of convenience for yourself. Just
right.
You know what I mean? Or like try to get me to switch T-shirts because it's more. It's like. Just give me what I asked for, which is why I was so happy when I sat down with you because like we're talking about like you were like you took the time to figure. It's like all right, well you want this shirt and you want this type of print. And you want this size, and you want this placement, and it was just you're very thorough and detailed. Have you always been that way?
You learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
So, more lately, well, not more lately. Well, since I've been here and since I was at my warehouse in New York, I've always taken that extra step because, you know, everyone's made mistakes. So someone will tell me, okay, I want this and whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool, I got it, no problem. And I say it back to them, and they say yes. Then I just do it. And then they're like, no, I meant this. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I know now. What I didn't know then is that you have to take the steps with the client. You have to communicate with them. You have to make sure they're getting what they want because the only person who it's going to negatively affect is you. Because now you have to replace those shirts.
Yeah, rework is probably very expensive.
Yeah, and I can assure you that every single person that has a screen printing shop has done that.
Yeah.
Every single person, whether it was lack of communication or being young or not knowing, it's happened.
Yeah.
So now what we do is we are very thorough. I say, well, how many inches is that? From here to here, I'm like, all right, let's get a ruler. Let's figure out how many inches that is because I don't want you to come back and say, no, it's too small or too big or this, that. All right, well, how low do you want it? Show me. Okay, we're going to do that. And where do you want it placed? What color, etc. Then I make a mock-up. Then you approve your mock-up. Yeah. So now I know we're doing all of that because now we've grown to the point where, do I want to replace a 6,000 piece job? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Holy cow! I can only imagine what that would cost.
Yeah. Do I want to? I don't even want to replace a 24 piece job because I want to give you what you wanted the first time.
Yeah. Well, just the work, right? Yeah. Like you said, like you want to deliver the first time.
Yeah.
So when you started, you said you started out your house, right? You went from one room to the next room into the basement.
Yeah.
How long until you outgrew the house and you're like, man, we have to get a space?
So we were probably in the house for maybe 2 years. Okay. And then we moved to another space.
Yeah. So walk me through that whole time for you guys. I mean, what was happening? What was going on? Like, you guys are getting crazy orders.
Yeah. So we were working in the house. We were using our bathtub, our shower to spray out screens.
It's a 2-man operation, right?
Yes. Okay. So this is how it went. So we would use the bathtub to spray out screens, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because if you saw our setup now and spray out booths and everything, you'd be like, oh, you guys are crazy. And then when it got nice out, because we only sprayed out in the shower in the winter because it was too cold to go outside. Okay. But when it was warm out, we would take the screen outside and use a lawn chair to hold it. And we would spray it out there. But that's not even the best part. The best part is, so now here we're in over 3,000 square foot facility, which we've outgrown and we need a bigger one. But you print the shirt. The shirt's printed automatically. We have all these automatic presses. And then you just take the shirt and you lay it on the dryer, and it's a conveyor belt, and it cures it by the time it comes out the other side. So we didn't have that at home. At home we had what was like, it's called a flash. So it's really only meant for you to like flash the shirt in between colors so that it's just dry to the touch and you can lay the next color down. Okay. So we only had that. So picture that first job. I was doing all those tags on 700 pieces. It was 2 different colors, 3 placements. It was neck, by the hip, and a front, and each of them was a 2 color. Yeah. And then a tag too. So we're curing each shirt on a ceramic tile with the flash dryer and a heat gun, checking all 4 corners to make sure that they hit a certain temperature for long enough.
Oh, wow.
So on 700 shirts, curing them that way, 3 different placements with a neck tag. Well, the neck tag, we didn't have to cure. I heat pressed those at that time. We probably lost so much money doing that.
How long did it take to do this, like, one shirt, would you, like, estimate?
I think we were at 7 minutes.
7 minutes a shirt.
Yeah.
That's 700 shirts.
Yes.
Holy shit. It's at 49,000 minutes. I don't know how long that equals, but.
We were so negative.
Whoa. But those are like the learning lessons, right? So all that time like that you spent is like an investment into like your education.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It was great. Like those, I prepared a slideshow for my employees of how we started and all the equipment they use now.
Yeah.
That, they should be grateful for.
Yeah, because I see like some of your snaps and stuff, and it's like all automated, and I'm just like, that must be fantastic. Because there are definitely people still out there like with the screens, like manually doing it.
Yeah, and
I'm sure that's where you started too, right?
Yeah, I still have 3 of them.
Yeah.
So sometimes what we do, we run a couple e-commerce stores for people.
Okay.
So they get one order in at a time. They pay a premium for it, but we'll print and ship the one order.
Yeah.
The shop dog's just
it's all good.
Doing
all
stuff
good.
over there.
Yeah, so that's like
I think she was in your bag. Do you have food in there?
No.
Okay, good.
No. So we're all good. We're all good. Yeah, so it's all print to order stuff.
Yeah, so it's print to order stuff. So we have 3 manuals still that will leave their most popular screens up, and we'll print one at a time and ship it for them through their Shopify or e-commerce store.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always wondered. Well, I mean, I kind of knew how it worked, but like I've never actually talked to a printer who does that. Like, is that even cost efficient for you guys? Like, what makes it? Yeah, what's the premium on that?
They pay a premium on that. It's
Yeah.
a minimum of $10 just for the print.
Yeah.
Plus the shirt.
So you almost have to like sell a shirt for probably like $35 to even make it.
Yeah, we have some clients who start out that, I mean, they make a few bucks per shirt.
Yeah, like the margins are so small.
Yeah.
I know I feel like a lot of people, like it seems to be a very popular model now. People doing print to order.
On demand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called, on
Well,
demand?
no, it
I
can
don't
be
know
called either way.
if I'm using the wrong terminology, correct me.
We just call it on demand here.
On demand. Yeah, but like it seems to be like for people who are just trying to maybe like start a brand or something. A lot of them are doing that, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's good in certain ways because you don't have much overhead. You barely have any overhead.
Yeah, like it allows you to offer a lot of different products.
Yeah, and so when we offer it, we keep the screens limited, so you get 5 screens included in that. If you want more screens, another screen has to go.
Okay.
Because that gets crazy. We've done on demand with multiple designs, and it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
And and then you have to worry about your turnaround time because these people are waiting, but a lot of times they don't understand that one shirt's being printed at a time, and we're not even holding the blank shirts. We're actually ordering the shirt when the order comes in.
Yeah.
So now I'm waiting on the wholesaler, then it comes in, I have to work it into production, and it kind of stinks, but a lot of times we have big high demand orders that need to get out.
Yeah.
And we have to make the time for these other orders. So definitely we make it so it's worthwhile. We make it so it's kind of a better business solution for us and them.
Yeah.
And also we tell our clients, your customers get confused by so many products. Like you don't want to have 100 products on the site.
Yeah, it's like they'll put the same design, but they'll put it on like 3 different hoodies, or all these different color hoodies and tanks and shirts, and
Yeah.
it's just like
It's
a lot of product offering, but
Yeah, you don't. The last thing you want to do is confuse your consumer, because you want your consumer to go on your site. You want them to see a nice, clean site. You want them to have a few options, not too many, because it's been proven that too many options, they don't pick one. They don't even pick one.
they'll pick nothing. They'll walk away.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's hard to explain that to people, but a lot of times people have a hard time judging the sizes. So I have a client that mixes it up. They do for their competitions, they'll do a big bulk order, and then for all like the stragglers or the stuff that doesn't totally sell all the time, they'll do e-commerce for it.
Oh, okay.
So they kind of mix it, because I get it that it's hard to determine, how many items you're going to need, this and that. And also, if they do sell out of the items that they have with them, this is an option for the people that missed out on that opportunity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I see it in a bunch of ways, but we definitely keep it minimal to those 4 or 5 screens, and we only do one color, sometimes 2 colors, but you have to keep in mind that takes up one of your screens now if it's a 2 color.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it so it's good for us, good for the client.
Right. Yeah. I don't like that model if you're trying to like build the brand, because then I can't own like that. I can't own that end relationship with the consumer, because like I'm not shipping it out myself, and like I'm not doing all of those things, like filling the order. Like I want to own that entire process with the customer.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really be like an attractive model for like myself, but I mean I can kind of understand it. I digress. Either way, let's go back to your story now. So you guys are filling huge orders. You're washing screens in the backyard. You're taking days to fill like order. I don't know. Weeks to fill orders. You're like, let's get it right.
Weeks.
So you finally grow out of the house, and what was the next shop like? How big was it?
Okay, so it was 1,500 square feet upstairs and 1,500 square feet downstairs. Oh, I got good stories here too. So we go and we check out this shop, and we're still in New York. We're on a pretty busy road. We're not in the greatest area. It's a good area. It's where Eric grew up, but I mean it's not like your higher end area, let's say.
Yeah, so I'm not the best at geography. Like, are you in New York City or
Long Island?
Long Island. Okay, got it.
Yeah, so we're in Long Island, and we go to this shop. We take a look at it. We're like, the guy tells us, "Oh yeah, we got 5 other people looking at it." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And so, but regardless, we're young, and we look at it. We're like, "Okay, this is cool. This has potential. The price is right." And so we say, all right, yeah, we want it. We'll sign on it. He goes, okay. So we said, all right, so can we put up a sign? Well, we can't really do that, with the town. They give me a hard time. This is
Why not? Why didn't they want the sign? Was it like they didn't
because the place was totally not legal.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
So we can't have a sign, but we say, okay, well,
Black
we do
market shirts.
we do some vinyl work. Can we decorate the windows? So he goes, yeah. So we're like, we put screen printing, we put embroidery, we put everything. Every single window is covered with stuff. We're like, people are gonna find us. They're gonna find us here.
Yeah.
So that's what we had to do because we couldn't have a sign.
Oh, that's so funny.
Which was okay. But then the other sketchier part is we're like, all right, so how do we get our electric bill? Like, how do we do this? Because we've never done it before. And so he goes, once a month, I'll send one of my guys to the store to read the meter because it's a shared meter with our neighbors. So I don't know what kind of math they did. They had to figure out the math with this reader that they put on our meter. It was all sorts of sketchy.
Yeah, it says a little sketch there.
And yeah, so we had no proof. He'd come back to us. He'd be like, all right, your electric this month is $600. I'm like, okay, here you go. Anyway, that's not unheard of in New York.
Yeah,
but
prices are more expensive there, right? And I guess if you're thinking, oh, man, we're doing a lot of business.
Yeah, it was totally not unheard of. So we would just be like, okay, yeah, here you go. You got it here. And then I would get the cash and put it with the rent, and I would go to the bank once a month and deposit it right into his account.
Oh.
So that's how I paid rent.
Okay.
And I mean, it was cool to start off with, but yeah, so that was the side of our sketchy building.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
But everyone has to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. I mean, I think like the biggest business lesson from like what I'm hearing so far is just like you guys just figured it out.
Yeah, you have to persevere. You have to keep pushing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like you get orders, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But yes.
But I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
Say yes and figure it out after.
100%. Like, absolutely. I mean, that's truly the definition of, like, fake it till you make it. It's like, well, just shit, man. Like, because if you say no, like, you know what's going to happen then. Like, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, we totally faked it till we made
Yeah.
it. Well, and I'm not even gonna say we made it because we're still a long way.
Yeah. Do you think you'll ever feel like you made it?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. The more and more, like, I sit down with people that are, like, just high performers and, like, they like to build things. One, I've learned that they're never going to stop building, whether it's like the current business or something else. Like they're gonna throw themselves into something. And then two, like you just never feel like you're doing enough, and you like this there's no like destination really. Like there's no end.
No,
It's just always improving.
I don't even know if it will be screen printing forever.
Right. It doesn't have to be screen printing. You could pivot and do something else. Yeah.
So back to my old store.
Yeah.
So then we were buying new equipment because we wanted to upgrade, because we were using it at home. We were using a manual press. We could print one shirt at a time and up to 4 colors.
Okay.
So that was our max, 4-color max. If you wanted 5 colors, no, sorry, you had to go somewhere else. That's what we said no to those. So we upgraded to a 6-color, a 6-4. So we could do 6 colors and 4 shirts at a time.
Okay.
And it was manual. You had to pull a screen down. You had to push your ink yourself.
Yeah.
And then you had to spin it yourself and everything. But we bought a dryer. So it was this little tiny dryer. You could fit one shirt folded in like a quarter at a time on it to cure it.
Okay.
And honestly, it was like you had to figure out how long you could put the shirt through at the right heat without the place going on fire.
How many shirts did you ruin?
Oh, so many. And the worst is, like, someone came, they wanted a tri-blend. Okay, you want a tri-blend. They have synthetic fibers in them, and they burn easily, too, like your polyester and your rayon. So I was like, oh, no, we've got a tri-blend order. Like, this is going to be rough. So we had one order that I'm telling you, we couldn't put the shirt on not folded. So we folded them, the sleeves under, and then we flipped the shirt in half.
Okay.
So we did these white tri-blends, and they came through the dryer. Everything looked great. The lighting wasn't the best in there, so I mean, you probably couldn't tell. Folded them all up, delivered them to the client. They got them and said to us, "These shirts look half yellow."
Did you burn them?
We burnt half the shirt. So there was a line going across, and half of it was yellow, and the bottom half was white.
Oh, my goodness.
And I'm like, listen, no charge. No, I'm kidding. So we had to redo all of those.
Oh, man. Like, what was the feeling in that moment? Did your heart just, like, sink to your stomach?
Yeah.
I would have. I would have been like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is what it is, though. It makes great stories.
I didn't know we could curse on here.
Yeah, you can say. Yeah, whatever you want. Whatever you want. There's no limitations on this show.
I don't have bad potty mouth.
I do. It's bad. I've had people tell me I curse too much on the show, so I've been kind of like, I don't like to alter my behavior, but I do try to be cautious depending on like who I'm talking to. I won't just drop F-bombs all the time. But I feel like a well-placed curse word is appropriate.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, you've definitely gone through the growing pains. For sure.
Yeah.
So you started out, you've always been Relentless Customs?
We first were born Relentless.
Okay.
And had the Instagram page and everything. This was before we were screen printing, so it was still okay. This was when it was a lifestyle brand.
Mm-hmm.
So it was Born Relentless, and then somebody reached out and was like, no, I'm Born Relentless, and I'm going to have my attorneys contact you, and you have to change your name, blah, blah, blah. And so we were like, really? Are you kidding? The guy has like 5 pictures up and you're going to contact us?
Yeah.
Like, what do you search that name all day?
Did he have it trademarked? Or
No.
Was he just talking trash?
No, he was just talking trash. But we were like, you know what? Screw you. We're going to be different. We're going to think of something else.
Yeah.
And so my partner, Eric, he was like, I really like how we could call it like something customs, because then if I want to branch off in the future, he has a background in cars and painting cars and wheels and tints and stuff
Okay.
like that. And
Yeah.
a bunch of our friends in New York do the same.
Yeah, customs can be.
Yeah, so that can be so many different things in case we want to branch out and, maybe do car wraps or stuff like that. So I said, all right, that's cool. He's like, but I still want it to be relentless. I was like, okay. He actually has relentless tattooed on his chest, and people think he got it for the company, but he had it before.
Okay, yeah, so the company came after that.
Yeah, so then I was like, all right, well, what about this relentless thing? Like, there's relentless so much. There's relentless shirts, relentless hats, relentless gym clothes, born relentless. I'm like, what about that? And so I'm thinking, he's like, well, I'm like, what if I don't remember whose idea it was. We were like, what if we throw some numbers in there?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, where did the 13 come from?
Yeah, so he's like, I'm like, well, we can, like, it kind of came about, his favorite number happened to be 13 also. So we threw the 1 and the 3, and it happened to be the L and the E.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh my god, maybe we shouldn't have done that, because I'll be like on the phone with my wholesalers, and they'll be like, is your email Re13entless? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit. I'm like, relentless. We just spell it that way to be different.
Yeah, I just like anytime if I typed it, I'm like relentless. I still say relentless. I'm just like LE. Hit the 1-3. I'm just like LE.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And when I'm like writing relentless, if I'm writing an email or like just writing relentless for whatever reason, I'll spell it with the 1 and the 3.
Yeah.
And not even realize it.
Not even thinking about it. You're like, what do you mean? You don't spell it this way too?
Yeah, exactly. But we realized that could be an issue in the future, so we bought a couple different domains. We bought 314 shirts.
Yeah.
516 shirts.
I saw that pretty recently.
Yeah.
I was following Eric, and I saw he posted that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you guys gonna start a clothing line again? You're gonna be launching another clothing line?
We've got a couple ideas.
Yeah. Trying to keep that on the down low right now.
Yeah, DLDO.
Okay. Sorry. I don't want to whistle blow on everything. I mean, you're in the perfect industry for.
Exactly. So I mean, it would only be right if we.
It's just vertical integration.
Yes.
At the end of the day, for you guys, I mean, it just makes sense. So what made you guys make that move from New York? I imagine you guys were probably doing pretty well in New York, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we were doing well in New York. So we were at the point where we needed to upgrade our equipment again.
Yeah.
We were like, we need to get an auto. We need to get a better dryer. We need to get a bigger space. We need somewhere that has 3-phase. So we were looking at warehouses over there.
3-phase? What's that?
Electric.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. All of our machines run on 3-phase electric, and we also need gas, too, for our dryer.
Oh, okay.
So not every building is equipped with that.
Yeah.
So that was something that is important when we're looking
for
a building. So we were looking, and we were going to sign on a couple places, but we were like, let's wait. And then Eric has been convinced the whole time that he hates New York. It's so expensive. And
it is expensive.
And it gets cold and this and that. Not like it's much warmer here in the winter, but
it's not a ton, probably.
No. But I mean, I will say that the summer and the spring seasons are much longer.
Yeah.
Like in New York, you don't get warm weather now until June.
Really?
Yeah.
One of the plus sides, I don't know, are you into nature? Do you like nature?
I do.
Like, Missouri actually has, like, one of the best conservation departments in the whole country. So, if that's a plus, if you didn't know that.
Oh, well, what we did notice is from being here, it's so green. It's so clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I lived in Texas for a year, and that's what I missed the most, like how green it was here.
Really? There was a big difference with Texas?
Yeah, outside of, I visit Austin pretty frequently, and that patch is actually pretty green there.
Right.
But, like, I was in San Antonio, and they have a whole season, they call it brownout, because, like, as you're moving into the summer, like, it gets so hot, and it's so, like, they're basically on, like, the edge of a desert.
Wow.
It gets so dry, everything is just, like, yellow and brown and dead. And, they even have, like, water restrictions and different things, so it's not fucking pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, so, like, I missed the trees and, like, the greenery of Missouri.
Seeing the stars.
Yeah, it's just such a beautiful state. But, I mean, I'm probably going to, like, pick up and move to Austin, to be honest, at a certain point.
Really?
It's, like, my favorite place. It's just such a cool, because it's very comparable to here. It's still Central Time Zone, so I won't have to, like, make a big change. But it's a very active city. It's very young. And it's extremely green and healthy. So I really like healthy, active cities. Like, that's a big draw to me. And like I said, cost of living is like the same. So
oh, that's good.
yeah, it's not that bad. But that was my own rant. Eric liked. He said it was too expensive in New York.
Yes, yeah, he's been saying that forever, and like we always made it work. Like it wasn't a big deal. It's just what you had to do. Like
It's just life.
yeah, as I was starting Relentless with him and screen printing, he would be home screen printing. I had 2 nanny jobs. I babysat every single weekend. Like there wasn't a time where I wasn't out making money. So he wanted to get out of New York, was thinking Florida. I'm like, I don't know anybody in Florida. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy people in Florida too.
there's a lot of many more crazy people in New York.
Yeah, but I saw this thing that said put type in like man arrested or Florida man in your birthday, just search that and the craziest headlines will come up. There's always crazy stuff happening in Florida.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. So he wanted to go somewhere in Florida, maybe North Carolina, South Carolina, stuff like that. And
Yeah.
we don't have any family there. We don't have any friends there, and we actually have friends here that we made and were in contact with and already did business with. So we were out in St. Louis a few times before that. We've come out for Summer Smash before.
Yeah. So you were working with them before, like even you came down here?
Well, we were friends with them.
Got it.
Yeah. So we came out for our friend's book launch and things like that. So we've been here a good amount of times, and it's very similar to Long Island if you think about it, but like a few years ago. So
What do you mean?
St. Louis, like the suburbs and everything,
Is very similar to Long Island?
yeah,
Okay.
in the aspect of like everything's a little bit spaced out, and you're about 30 minutes from the city.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a much smaller city, but you're still
Yeah.
30 minutes from a bigger city.
Yeah, like if you wanted to do something
Yeah.
that's like more urban, if you will. I mean, you
Yeah.
got the buildings, and there's the Blues and the Cardinals, and there's plenty of stuff to do downtown.
Yeah.
But you can easily get away from it.
Exactly. And you have all of the department stores that you need, restaurants. The houses are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So, I mean, except when you go out further, of course there's farms and stuff, and there's
Lots of farms.
not many.
I grew up on a dirt road, so that's home to me.
I don't think I've ever been on a dirt road.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, well, welcome to my life.
Yeah, so then we looked at a couple. Well, we didn't look at anything here. We have a friend who's a real estate agent here, and he went looking for us at a couple buildings. He came here, looked here. He looked at a couple other spots for us, and basically helped us make the decision to sign before we even saw anything.
So you you bought a house unseen?
No, we didn't buy a house.
Oh, but you
this
signed a lease. Oh, this building. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we signed a lease on this building. When we moved here, we actually had nowhere to live.
I love it.
We snuck our 2 pit bulls and a Yorkie into a motel, and stayed there for a week, and then went to another one, stayed there for another week. Then we stayed with friends for a little bit. Then we signed on the first townhouse we could.
Oh man, Relentless is the perfect name for you guys. Like you just figure it out. Like we're just gonna do it.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine you get a whole lot more space here for a whole lot.
Oh yeah. So
yeah,
bottom
less.
line was what we have here. We were paying the same price for 1,500 square feet in an illegal little kind of warehouse in New York.
Yeah. Wow.
And the electric and gas and everything is less than what we were paying for just electric alone.
Yeah.
In New York.
Yeah. So do you ever miss home?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no place like home.
I mean, there are certain things I miss. The main thing is my family.
Yeah.
But I mean, the cost of living and everything else, I don't really miss that.
Yeah. St. Louis isn't a bad city. I just saw that Yelp ranked it number 2 in the country for food. So, I knew we had a pretty decent food scene. So, but it's pretty cool to get some sort of outside recognition, so everybody else knows how good the food is here.
I think they placed higher than New York.
I think so.
I don't remember who was one, but I know it wasn't New York.
I don't think it was. No, it wasn't New York. I think number 1 was in California maybe, but I'm probably making that up. I don't know, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter.
But I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
But I will say that they could use a bagel store, a deli, and a pizzeria. Not this like New York style saying, like actual New York.
Like a real deal. What makes a good bagel?
A lot of people say the water,
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
but I mean, I just want to know why Panera doesn't put salt on their bagels, on their everything bagels.
It's called Bread Co.
Well, yeah, bread. I
I'm just
want to
teasing
know
you.
why Bread Co.
I'm teasing
doesn't
you.
put salt on their everything bagels.
Oh, I don't know. Some people are weird about salt. I don't know why.
I guess. Well,
I'm a fan of salt.
then you should have a New York everything bagel.
I don't really eat bagels anymore.
I'll bring you one back. I'm going for Easter.
Are you?
Yes.
You know, New York is high on my list. Like, I need to make it out to New York by third quarter this year because, like, there's a health coach up there that I want to sit down with, and like, he's like almost to the like the Canadian border. So it's like, yeah,
okay.
it's
You're
like,
gonna be like Niagara Falls area.
yeah. So like, I'm gonna go up there, hang out with him, and then like drive back down. I'm gonna road trip it, and I'm gonna hit like another health coach and podcast with him in like northeastern Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you're gonna go from northern New York right into Pennsylvania?
Yeah, so I'm gonna pass one to get to the other,
Mhm.
and then I'm just gonna get to the other on the way back home.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. So you're not gonna go to Manhattan?
It'd be out of the way,
Yeah,
but
it would.
it'd be way out of my way. But it's probably, I mean, life's an adventure. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't ever have a plan. So, like, for example, I'm just all about just figuring it out, too, because, like, I went to L.A., it's probably been a couple months now, but I just rented a van and slept in the van the whole week because I was trying to make it as cheap as possible, man. And, like, I needed to be out there. I needed to meet with, like, a sponsor. I needed to do all these things. And I'm just like, shit, well, I need to be mobile, so I'm going to have to rent something.
Yeah.
And I might as well sleep in it, too.
Yeah. No, that I would do the same thing.
It totally worked out. I had some people let me use their bathrooms the whole week, so I definitely had places like shower and do all that good stuff.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
That's really cool.
no excuses.
Yeah.
No excuses. So, all right, I want to ask you because I don't want to take too much of your time, and I know we're running out of time. I don't know how much time you have, but I want to get in the weeds a little bit. And for the people who are listening, can you explain the difference between water-based and plasticell? Because so many people don't even like know about the differences. And like I've done a lot of research. Like I'm the type of person, like if I want to learn something, I'll just go out and find it. But I find like a lot of people, for lack of a better word, are lazy, and they just try to go to somebody and like ask them to tell them.
Yeah.
So tell me, like this, like we can help some people right now. Like let's explain that.
Okay. So plastisol is your traditional ink. It's plastic based.
Okay.
That's why they call it plastisol. So it's thick, it's a creamy ink, and when you screen print on certain textures, it's not always the smoothest.
Mm-hmm.
So odds are, if you go through your closet, out of your graphic tees, 95, maybe more % of them are plastisol.
Yeah.
It's most popular. It's the easiest to use. You don't have to worry about it going bad. You can put it right back in the container when you're done. And then as opposed to water-based is a water-based ink.
Mm-hmm.
It's very thin. It's very runny, very watery. And we put a catalyst in it so that it dries faster, so that it cures faster, because it takes longer to cure for some reason. It's made out of water. So when you put that catalyst in it, a lot of times people say it goes bad. So you need to mix exactly what you need, and then when you're done, you throw out the rest. And the screen always has to be full of ink, so you have to mix enough that you're not going to run out, and then you throw out the rest. But the difference in the texture is water-based, since it's so smooth, it's so runny, it's so soft, when it's on a shirt, you can barely feel it.
It's the best, in my opinion. I don't know why more people don't do it.
Well, I've heard in this area, a lot of people say, quote unquote, it's impossible because of the humidity here.
Yeah, I don't know. I asked the guy about it. He was just like, it's expensive and no one's doing it. And I'm just like, that's not the answer I wanted to hear.
Well, no one wants to do it because you have to be mindful. Your screens, when, like I was saying about the emulsion is what makes the stencil. It gets degraded from water-based ink. So you have to take a separate process after you make the screen, you have to harden it. You now have to take a special hardener, which is like another chemical, and you need to put it all over the screen in places that you don't want the screen to break down, is what it's called.
Okay.
So from that squeegee running across the screen, sometimes if your screen breaks down, you'll get two little lines on the side of the image where the squeegee, where the ends of the squeegee is.
Yeah.
So you have to take a lot of extra precautions. You have to make sure the ink doesn't dry out while you're in the middle of printing, because that could happen too. You just take a spray bottle and spray it with water. And there's other things that you can do so that to prevent that from happening. But I mean, all in all, it's harder, and people don't want to do it.
Yeah. So why did you decide to do it?
It was one of our ways to be different from other companies too.
Oh, okay.
So we would approach companies and say, "Oh wow, I really love what you're doing. Like, your designs are awesome." Like, and people have to have a feasible design for it.
Yeah.
So if we saw some people and we would go to trade shows still and just go check them out. So if we saw someone that had a clothing line, we'd approach them and be like, "Hey, have you heard of water-based ink? Or better yet, have you heard of discharge ink?" Because that's another kind of ink also that bleaches a shirt.
So those are different things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's talk about those two. I'll finish your thought, but I'll
So we would approach people and be like, "Hey, we can give you a finish on your shirt that you won't believe. Like, you won't feel the ink on here. You know, like, we would be like, see how you feel this? You can feel this ink. It's a little bit rough. It depends on what fabrics you print on. Well, you know what? Feel this one. Like, our uniforms would be made out of water-based. They still are. We'd be like, feel the back of my shirt. See how you can't feel anything?
Yeah.
Or you can feel very little." And they'd be like, "Oh, wow, we're like, you're a high-end brand. You deserve a high-end product." And a lot of the time people were like, "Yeah, that's awesome. You know what? Let's do it." And so that's how we also stood out a lot in New York, because we started that in New York and we were doing mostly water-based and discharge jobs.
Okay.
And we didn't have proper ventilation over there too.
Can you imagine all the chemicals
All
you're
the
breathing
fumes.
in?
Oh
Yeah.
my God, horrible. But regardless, we take the time to show people these differences and, help them bring their brand to the next level.
Yeah. I think that's so important. I was looking at that shirt there a second, like it had the difference. And
Yeah.
And like I know it's just like printed right down the middle. I was feeling it. I'm like, God, this is just so, like, this side is so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So okay, so then discharge ink. So explain that. I mean, you kind of hit on it a little bit, but
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so discharge ink, like we've done for your shirts,
yeah,
is basically like a bleach.
yeah,
And it replaces the color your shirt was printed in with whatever ink color you choose.
yeah,
So you could feel a little bit after we print it. It takes a little bit longer for them to cure, so they're in the dryer for a little bit longer than they would be for plastisol. But the finished product, you still can't feel it really when you get it out of the dryer, but after you wash it,
oh my God,
it's like nothing's printed on your shirt.
it's just the shirt.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing.
It's game changing. Yeah, like I knew exactly what I wanted when I came in here. I was like, this is what I want. And you're just like, yeah, we could totally do that. You're like the biggest lifesaver. Yeah, I don't know how many people like come in. Was I like, because I'm very like specific. Is that common? Do you usually like get people like, I imagine you get a spectrum, right? Like,
Yeah.
but how many people, you know what I mean? Like how often are people very specific like that? Is that common, you think?
For our clientele, it kind of is.
Yeah.
Because that's why
Like, that's who you
people
attract.
come to us.
Yeah.
And we've had other shops send their clients to us because they know that we do those options.
Yeah.
Because they know that we're familiar with it. We are not still, well, I mean, we're always still learning, but we know how to do it. We're not still trying to figure it out.
Right. Yeah, and that was like the most comforting thing.
Aw.
Like to know, like, you know your shit, and like this is like, you're like, yeah, this is just everyday business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's so important.
Yeah, and I mean, I like to have a lot of samples on hand so people can feel them, and not only just samples of clothing, but printed samples, because
Yeah.
Someone could tell me what they're looking for, but I need to know for sure, so I'll show them, well, do you want it like this? Do you want it like this? Do you want it like this?
Yeah.
And then so it really helps people decide.
Yeah. So what's your preference between, I mean, I would imagine like water-based and plasticell would be over or I mean, water-based and discharge ink would be over like Plasticel, I imagine, right? It's like,
Yeah.
what's your preference out of those,
Honestly,
or do you have one?
if someone is like, here, take this shirt, and it's like a big chunky plastic print, I won't wear it.
I won't either.
I'm a shirt snob.
I got well. The thing is, like, everybody will give you a shirt. Like,
Yeah.
I have so many shirts at home.
Yeah, I use them as pajamas, which I know is the exact opposite of what they want.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. But like, yeah, that's why, like, whenever I give people shit, like, I want them to know, like, this is a really good product. I'm like, I'm not playing
Yeah.
around. So, but what's your preference
Out of discharge or water base?
Yeah.
I like the discharge
Yeah.
because you don't even feel it.
I like it too, but it's harder. Are you more limited with what you can do, right? Because you are kind of, like you say, you're removing that ink of the shirt and
Yes.
replacing it, and
Yes. That's what we actually spoke about too, because it only dyes the natural fibers in a shirt. So if a shirt is a tri-blend and there's cotton, polyester, and rayon in it, it's only going to dye the cotton. So now your shirt's going to look a little vintage, kind of like textured, because it's not dyeing the polyester or the rayon in that shirt.
yeah.
It's only dyeing the cotton.
So it's best to go 100% cotton on those.
Yeah, but some people like the look. Like the gentleman that just picked up before while we were talking, the order he picked up was red and white Plasticharge, because we use the Plastisol ink to get the colors, but it's the same thing as discharge.
Okay.
And he ordered them on tri-blend baseball shirts. So it
Yeah.
was kind of your vintagey look, but he loves it.
Yeah, like
It's-
that's what he wanted.
Yeah, exactly. That was his second order of it. And that's exactly what he was looking for. And it's not like you can't see it, but I say to people, well, do you want like a really, really, really bright white, or do you just want it to look kind of textured-y looking? And I mean, I'll show them an example of that, because I have ones that are on blends, and then they let me know, and then they say, oh, well, no, I want it really bright. I'm like, all right, well, then let's move to a different option. Let's not do this.
Yeah.
So that's the only limiting factor with that,
Yeah.
for the most part. And you cannot do 100% polyester. That's out of the question.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, is that something that people print on a lot? 100% polyester stuff. I mean, I would imagine like you embroid on it. I would rather embroid on a polyester shirt. No, am I thinking wrong?
Well, that shirt right there.
Oh, something like that, like you would work out in.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a workout shirt.
Yeah, those are 100% polyester, aren't they?
Yep. And so either we'll do
Yep. You're right.
either we'll do a Plastisol print on them. We use polyester Plastisol, or we'll even do water based, and then we'll put the temperature lower, put that catalyst in it so that it dries faster for them, and as long as it doesn't reach a certain heat, we're okay.
Got it. All right, Nikki, this has been a fantastic conversation. Where can folks get a hold of you? How can folks find you? Like, plug your socials, plug this. You have a website, right?
Yeah.
With
314shirts.com.
So you have several different domains for it.
I
So
do.
plug them all if you like. Tell the folks how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. Well, our website is 314shirts.com, and my Instagram is Nikki NIKKI_relentless, but it's RE13entless, and then also at Relentless Customs, spelled the same way.
Great. And I'll put all your handles like in the show notes so people can find you on Instagram and Facebook and all that different things. Because you have for the business, you're on Instagram and Facebook. Are you guys also on Twitter?
No.
I'm not a big fan of
I don't do
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, I've tried it, and honestly, I can't really figure out how to advertise, market on it, without pictures. I
Yeah.
don't know how to do it.
Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be great to actually like connect with people, but I only have so much time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Twitter's not it. So
Yeah. I don't do the Twitter. Facebook, Instagram, phone call, email,
yeah,
call me.
you're here. Yeah, this is the place to check out if you need a new shirt for sure, or anything else. Because you guys do more than just, so you do vinyl and you do embroidery,
Yes.
right?
Yep. So we can do bags, shirts, hats, polos, aprons, onesies, tote bags, like, giveaway tote bags.
Yeah.
Sometimes headbands, depending upon what people are looking for. Leggings, joggers.
Yeah. You're a full service shop.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Hey, thanks again, Nikki. And everybody, until next time.